So McDonald's is in trouble again with a lawsuit up to $1 billion with a B dollars launched by black former franchise owners. And McDonald's was in fact one of the many corporations that publicly supported BLM. But as you may have noticed, a lot of these mega corporations' actions do not reflect their words. So McDonald's claims they have probably created more black millionaires than any other company out there. The lawsuit, however, says differently and suggests that McDonald's corporate has systematically placed black-owned franchise locations in bad areas and gave the good locations to white-owned franchisees. This is a very interesting case. The claim states that revenue at McDonald's is contingent, and this is very true. We speak about this on the channel all the time. It's a contingent on only one thing, and that's the location that you're at. And allegedly, these black-owned restaurants earned on average $700,000 less than a typical McDonald's location due to being placed in these substandard locations. Now, if you watch the channel, you know that the margins are not huge oftentimes with McDonald's or fast food in general. And just because you make $2 million a year doesn't mean you make any money after paying all of your expenses. Allegedly, many of these black owners had to declare bankruptcy. So franchisees noted that the decisions made became all about the shareholders while the franchisees were left out in the cold. And we see this oftentimes with these huge brands. After they become so big, they sell or they go public, and the nice little franchise turns more toxic towards the franchise owners. And we've covered franchises in the past like Subway and Tim Hortons. We'll put links up above where the exact same thing happened. And if you want to buy a franchise, this is something in your future, find a nice emerging brand and ride that sweet spot while it still has a family atmosphere and has not become so corporate centric. Now, what's also interesting is if we look over the past 20 years, black ownership of franchise locations has actually dropped from over 350 black owners in the McDonald's franchise system to only 186 today. That's about half of what the number once was. Another lawsuit that was filed earlier this year suggested that close to 100 black franchisees left while under the control of ex-CEO Steve Easterbrook. Now, Steve Easterbrook, you may have seen him in the news. He was the CEO of McDonald's up until 2019, but he was fired for having what we could call inappropriate relationships with at least 3 fellow McDonald's employees. They found dozens of explicit images that were sent to his home computer from work, including photos of employees. He also approved a stock grant that was worth hundreds of thousands of dollars to one of his romantic partners. Now, the rascal deleted all these images from his phone, but lo and behold, all of this stuff, of course, stays on the company servers as evidence. So Mr. Easterbrook was fired and only received about half a year's salary as severance pay, which turned out to be about $675,000. Now, he may also receive about $40 million in stock options and other compensation. Now, McDonald's is suing Easterbrook to try and get that money back. Now, seemingly, Easterbrook is the tip of the iceberg, as another $500 million lawsuit, that's $1.5 billion altogether, alleges that McDonald's failed to protect its female employees at a store level from harassing coworkers. And teenage workers apparently are the most common targets of this abuse, and critics suggest the organization is simply mirroring what was happening at the top of the organization. You might recall back in 2014, a similar racially charged lawsuit. McDonald's franchise owner fired multiple black employees for no other reason than the store supposedly had too many black employees. It's unbelievable. The 11 employees had collective tenure of over 50 years and very solid work records. They were subject to ongoing racist comments and a toxic work environment. Now, when these 11 employees contacted McDonald's corporate, they were told, hey, deal with the individual franchise owner directly, and there was nothing that they could do. Now, this case was settled and pretty much swept under the rug of McDonald's lawsuit history. Subscribe to this channel. We're going to keep you updated on the latest in this lawsuit. We'll see what happens there. If you crave to hear the full version of the Ba-da-ba-ba-ba McDonald's song, that's actually Justin Timberlake. We'll put a link right up there. And our new channel, we just reached 1,000 subscribers today. Thank you to everyone for that. We're going to be posting a lot more content about entrepreneurship, investing, all that other good stuff. I'll place that link down below here. Thanks for watching.